Welcome to Go All In, the podcast for the underdog entrepreneurs who didn't wait for permission and didn't quit when things got hard. I'm Anh Phoong, and each month I sit down with founders, risk takers, and underdogs to talk about what it really takes to beat the odds in business. Welcome to Go All In, beating
Yay.
the odds against business. We have Miss Ruthie Bolton,
Yes.
WNBA All-Star, two-time gold Olympian champion,
Yes.
mother, survivor, author.
You know,
Mm.
it's listen, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. That's why when you asked me about coming on, I was so excited because that title, all in, embodies me in my life and just this short time I'm getting to meet you, just like all in, iron sharpens iron. So I'm excited to be here
Oh,
and to rub shoulders with someone amazing.
you are the first guest, so I am honored. Thank you.
I gotta do a whistle,
Woo,
whistle
woo.
blow on that one.
That whistle is why I was like, she needs to be on the first episode. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about this whistle real quick. It's so important.
It's being intentional. I feel like game time is like game time to be the best version of me. Like it's a sense of urgency.
Mm.
And I always say like it's game time. I blow the whistle, and I remember when we met. We said game time, let's go. So it's like,
Yes.
what time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. And I blow the whistle, and we cheer because I feel like that's the essence of life. You got to celebrate life. You got to be intentional. And it's like in basketball, there's a thing where you sit back in a zone. No, we full court press.
Mm-hmm.
I have you in my phone that's full blast,
Yes.
like all in it, like
I
that. Like
love
you
it.
just intentionality. So the whistle means a lot to me.
The whistle and hearing it definitely does like bring up the energy and like not just like in basketball and business in everything you have to walk in with the right energy,
The right
so that
energy.
that whistle and the blow and like what time is it, game
Let's
time? It's
go.
like
It's
game time. Let's go build the business, let's go get those clients, let's go make the
That's
sales.
it. It's like stop the excuses,
Yes.
find a way. It's pushing you forward. It's a sense, hey, let's do this. It's game time. Let's do this. It's a fourth quarter.
Yes.
We may be down by 10 with
Mhm.
5 minutes left to go, but we gonna win. And that's the
Love
mentality.
that.
That's
I
you
love
have to have that winning mentality if it's gonna happen. If you walk out and say we've lost, we down by 10, what you tell yourself probably what's gonna happen. We're gonna lose and you're probably gonna lose. Even in
Mhm.
life, in business. So you have to talk yourself, come on, you got this. I tell my daughter, she played basketball, I said, you got to talk yourself out of a funk. So you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, I missed my last 3 shots. I'm going to make the fourth. So come on, Ruthie, you got this. Hope you got this. So you have to tell yourself. And you
Absolutely.
have to impose your will. That's another, this whistle mean to impose your will.
It does, absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming, the WNBA All-Star and Olympian? Like just a quick little background, how
My
you
little
got there.
background, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't say I was a 16 or 20 children. The
Mhm.
16, I'm
Of
glad
20?
I'm
16
20.
of 20, you guys hear
Yeah, 16 or
that?
20. So I'm glad my mom and dad didn't stop at 15. The Bible said be fruitful and multiply, so they did. So they'll come, my twin brother and I was born first, 1 minute. And so growing up in a family of 20, 12
Mhm.
girls, 8 boys, and my father was a minister, and he taught us about principles. He said, if you take in life with you just a few principles, you won't need a suitcase full of rules.
Ooh.
If you take in life with you just a few principles, you won't need a suitcase full of rules. And those principles that I live by, that I'm living by today, my faith is my faith and what I believe in. My attitude, which is my mindset, how I approach every situation, and third one is character. It is decisions that we make. So those are the principles that I live by. So living under that with my father and my mom and dad, he had to have discipline. He had to have those things, raising 20 children. So growing up in that family household, I'm a preacher kid. My dad was very disciplined. He had a standard. Like if it was wrong to say certain things on a Monday, it was wrong on Tuesday. Like he was so consistent. So all those things was embedded into me, and I would hear it over and over again. So growing up in that family, on every door in the house, on one door was green, yellow, orange. It was this quote that life is 10% of what happens to you, but in 90% how you respond to it.
Ooh,
And
I love
if
that
he came home
one.
and he didn't see it, like on the living room door, like Dad, it's the same quote. What's the big deal? It is a big deal because I want you to see it. I want you to do more than just memorize it. Because daughter, you're gonna need it. And he would call me daughter most of the time because he couldn't remember my name. He said, you're gonna need this in life. And
Mhm.
so on every door, so living amongst that with consistency, and my dad
Mhm.
constantly reminding me, really gave me an amazing foundation. Growing up in that family, being outside, we lived on 17 acres, and so I would jump fences, climb trees, and I loved being more outdoors than I did inside.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And let's take that quote that your dad taught you at such a young age. So life is 10% about what happens to you and 90% about what you do about it and your
Yes.
attitude, right?
Yes.
So can you give me an example of how you use that in your career and business
It's a
moving forward?
yes.
Like,
You know what? I have to share this early stage in my life. What I used was, I would say, I'm gonna tell you the jump in the fence story.
okay.
I was, like, I love being outdoors, and we used to jump fences as a sport, climb trees, jump over puddle water, and I was pretty athletic. And I remember this one particular day that we got ready to jump this one fence, and we all be together. It was a chicken fence, and as I ran to jump this fence, I got like, oh my God, I can't do it. Like, they was leaving me. I was the last one. Okay, I got it. And that's every time I ran up to that fence, it's got higher and higher in my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I started getting anxious, like, okay, I got this. Take a deep breath. I got it. Take a deep breath. And I started to run. Proceed to run and jump the fence. And I tried to jump. And it's still like our fear.
Yeah.
I became handcuffed with fear. And they were leaving me. They said, come on. I'm like, no, I got this. Listen, Ann, I pondered with that fence for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They were already done. I'm like, they said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. So they said, we got to wait till tomorrow because the street light came on.
Uh-huh.
And we had 5 minutes to be in the house.
Mhm.
I remember that night inside, like, man, I don't know why I can't jump this fence.
Mhm.
And my brother said, don't worry about it. You can just pick up. We know you can do it. I said, no, I got to do it. That next morning, before anybody got up, I said, I got this. I got this. I tiptoed everybody because in a big house, a lot of people slept on the floor. I
Mhm.
made sure I went outside and I didn't want to wake anybody up. Me and that fence. I said, I got this. Took a deep breath. I said, I got this. I started to run, and I put everything I had in it. I jumped, I leaped over the fence, and I made it. I ended up on my back, and I celebrated that moment.
Yeah.
Now, why did I celebrate? That moment is because I had accomplished this. It may seem small. Listen, the cameras wasn't there. ESPN wasn't there. The NCAA committee wasn't there. The Olympic committee wasn't there. That moment was me and that fence.
Mm-hmm.
And I celebrated because I had done something. I saw myself on the other side of it. So to answer your question, my mindset is that I want this.
Yes.
I don't, no excuses. I'm going to get over this fence. The mindset is that I got this. And I had to get over the obstacle because sometime in life, we focus on the obstacle and we don't see ourselves on the other side. So I had to shift my mindset. When you shift the mindset, you shift the atmosphere.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of, business and entrepreneurs and leaders, there is that obstacle and it looks a little bit different for everybody,
Yes.
right? But there's that fence and you have to get over
I get
it.
over the fence.
And you celebrate that
I
because
celebrate
there's
that.
so much of a mental aspect of it. The fence could have been short too.
Yes.
It's just if your mind sees it as you can't do it, then you ain't going to do
But
it.
you got to self-talk and tell yourself, I got this. Move out all the noise, clutter, and look at what I can control. I got this. I've done it before. Not in a dangerous situation. If I didn't think,
Correct.
I knew I could do it, but my mind, and I feel like I went through that to prepare me for things later in life. Because a lot of people ask me, what is that grit? What is that? What make you? I said, because I had to figure it out myself.
Yes.
There was no peer pressure to do it. I did it alone. I said, I got this. So I dug deep within myself, and I tapped into my why, and I said, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I saw on the other side. So that moment meant so much to me, and I celebrated.
I bet. I love that story. I want to talk to you about, okay, so you competed, 2-time gold Olympian.
Yes.
What is the difference between being good and elite, like top tier? Like where's the line and how do you get from there?
The difference between being good and elite, because I go and I talk to a lot of athletes that made it to made it to Colorado Springs, which is where they train. And I remember speaking to a group. I said, the fact that you all here, they spent 5-6 months finding the top athletes in high school, the top athletes in college, because I've talked to Bros Group. I've spoken to Bros Group. I said, the fact that you good, you here, you good. But what sets you apart is what you do with this opportunity. Is when opportunities meet grit and ready. I said, what do you do? It's 75 of you all. They only got like 20 spots. When I did it, it was 175, and they only had 24. I said, what is it going to separate me? First, I got to show up. And two, I gotta go out there and I gotta have the mindset. It's like it's almost like you gotta be a little bit crazy, but good crazy. It I set you apart. Like, you know what, I can be good enough just showing up at the gym shooting, an hour in the morning time. But what about when you go at lunch, when you go after school? You're like, man, that's crazy. Don't take all that. No, it take all of that inside. So it's the mindset. Is when you realize, like, I gotta go higher. I can't just settle for just comfortable. I gotta step outside the box. I stepped outside the box many times, which separated me from just being good and being on the next level. You got to do things like, when people look at you like, serious? You doing that? Yeah, I'm doing that. Because you got to do things that not ordinary. You got to do things that like make people say, man, you going to the next level. Like when I got ready to go to Auburn, I couldn't fly in a private jet. But in order for me to get there, I had to ride a bus for 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
Many people said, don't go. They know who they want. They don't want you. And I felt like it was unfair. But you know what? Hey, when you know your why, you know your way.
Yes.
When you lose your why, you lose your way. And so that's what separates is that I'm going to own up to my why. If I have to low crawl to the finish line, I'm going. And that's the mindset. Hey, if I, because you can always make excuses. Yeah, they said this, but I want this. I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to get on that bus and I'm going to ride to Auburn. And if it takes 10 hours to get there, that's what I want and I'm going to do it.
So the podcast is called Go All In.
Yeah,
And
I
so
love
riding the bus for 10 hours is you going all in, right? And
going all in. That's why when the title, it literally, it fits. It embodies my life, my career, all in. It doesn't matter what you say. I'm not going to let you dictate my future. I'm going all in. I'm getting on this bus. Even though there were tears in my eyes, I dealt with some fears. I feel good. That's a great decision. And I think about, man, what am I doing? I question myself, but I stayed the course.
Yes.
I stayed on that bus ride. Matter of fact, I didn't even get off at 4.5 hours. We stopped for food. I didn't even get off. I was scared I was going to get left.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm all in. I'm sitting on this bus. I was so hungry when I got to Auburn, but I got there because, Coach, I'm all in because there's a saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But guess what, Ann? If you got one basket, what are you saving them for?
Yes.
All in. Don't put every egg I got in this one basket. I'm all in. And that's what I did on that bus. I was all in.
Wow. Can you share with us some more of the adversity and challenges where you did have to continue to go all in? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Can you share
It
some more?
wasn't easy because even after college, when I got to college, and I don't know if you know what Jerry curls are.
Yes.
I had a bad shot and a bad Jerry curl, which is one of the reasons why coaches didn't recruit me. I didn't have the pretty game. I was a gritty player. A lot of things I did didn't show up on the stat sheet. So people that listening that know sports, the points didn't show up, the rebounds didn't show up. But what me was grit, determination, leadership, resilience, those things. Now, after college, I was getting ready for the national team trials, and I have to paint this picture. I hope the audience can follow me, is that I wanted to play for the national team. I didn't get invited. It was crazy. Like, you went to the championship game, the Final Four, even though we lost, but you were averaging, you were one of the top scoring leaders. Like, how could they not invite you? And I felt some kind of way. I'm like, you know what? I got to prove myself again. I felt like I had earned a spot. They spent 5 months, and they picked the top 50 players in the country. You got to be kidding me that you didn't look at my stats and thought that I had done enough.
Yeah.
The rejection felt horrible. Once again, it reminded me of the Auburn experience. I was like, man. So I remember having a conversation with my father. I said, Dad, what should I do? He said, hey, what I say, it doesn't matter what people think about you. It don't have to be true. What you think about me don't put anything on my record. When you all in, you're going to defy odds. I'm going to have to prove myself to you. Yes. So sure enough, I paid my own way to go to trials.
Wow.
That was like unheard of. Like, you should get invited. Why go? They know who they want. But they invite 50. They're going to choose 24 players out of that 50, top 50 players. They're saying my dad said, if a door closed, get through a window.
Ooh, I like
that
it.
That door closed, but that window was, they said, we're going to have another 125 openings, but you got to pay your way to come.
Wow, okay.
So I was crazy enough to believe, okay, I got to show up. I paid my way to go to Colorado Springs.
You went through that window.
I went through that window, still with a bad Jerry curl and a bad shot. 175 athletes. They only going to choose 50. Most people like, oh, you know what, don't waste your time, but I wanted something. I said, I'm all in. If I want to one day be an Olympian, I got to be all in. Yes. Show up 9 sessions and in 3 days.
Wow.
That's when they did morning, afternoon, and nights. In Colorado Springs, the altitude was crazy. I'm talking about you can't hardly breathe. But I was training. I got better every session. They said, no, it's no way. After the 9th session, and listen, 175 athletes out in front of me. I'm one out in front. I'm one of those athletes. They gave this big speech. Thank you all for coming, but y'all all work so hard, but we only have, 24 spots. So please don't get discouraged. Come back. If you made a team, your name will be highlighted outside on the door. I'm sitting there exhausted and like, I don't know if I made it, but I'm just happy I showed up.
Yeah.
But I felt like I worked my butt off. But sure enough, let me borrow this.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, I go outside and on the door, no way. Alice Ruth Bolton. I see my name highlighted.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh my goodness. I went there and I took somebody's spot and I made the top 24.
Wow.
It was not supposed to happen had I not been all in. And believe it or not, I was the only player on my team that made it. They said the
Wow.
committee was like, no way. We don't have you nowhere on our radar. How do you come in here and shine like you did?
Wow.
Grit, resilience, knowing my why, and being all in, pretty much. And that story, I know that I try to tell it as short as I could, but that the moment, and I start to realize, like, you know what? Faith, attitude, and character embodies all of that. And that I had to show up for myself. I had to defy gravity. I had to just, like, do stuff that looked crazy to people on the outside. But that moment was, it changed my whole landscape of my national team. Like, what? So I was invited the following year, and the rest is history. But it took me going through the fire, and
Yes.
that went through that thing with, like, the rejection, to feel like, why am I having to go through this path? Because I should have been invited. But that's what things in life, even people in business, sometimes you might get fired from a job. Sometimes you might not get the things you want. Like, I knew this door should have opened, but find a window.
Find a window.
To get
Find
through.
a window. I love that.
Find a window to get through because you deserve it.
Because I think that a lot of times we have an idea, we have a plan, we have a business plan, how there's steps and things that we need to do to get there. So if one door closes, it's like, do you just give up, right? And then you have to evaluate, well, maybe I didn't want it bad enough.
That's right.
And then you look yourself in the eye in the mirror and figure out, like, hey, well, this door closed, and am I at a point where, okay, move on? That's, bad idea. Maybe I should have a new goal or career. But then if you want it bad enough and you look yourself in the mirror, you're going to find that window.
That's right. If you choose now, when I say that, I want to be clear. Now, there's sometimes you work your butt off and stuff don't happen.
Right.
But let it be your decision. Don't let circumstances keep you from what people say, well, doubt you. But if you go to sleep thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, don't be afraid to fail.
Yes.
You miss 100% of shots you don't take. So if you feel in your gut, like, I feel it.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Ruthie, I'm telling you, see, this is why you had to be the first person, because everything you're saying, and I know that, like, you're a basketball all-star, but, like, this applies in business. This applies in leadership, in anything that you want to do. It's so important because 100% of the shots you don't make, I mean, it just makes sense.
You got to take those shots. You got to crash and burn, because you can always wonder what if. And I remember my father said this before I got on that bus. He said, you don't have to play basketball. He said, but what will you think about? What will you do 10 years down the road if you didn't play basketball? Who would you blame? I said, these colleges. He said, no. You give your power away when you blame circumstances. Like, Auburn didn't give me a scholarship. Ole Miss didn't give me a scholarship, different school. But no, what in this situation can I control? Yeah, you've been dealt a really tough stack of cards. But what can I control in this setting?
Yes.
So when you're faced with challenges, sometimes you will walk away, and that's your prerogative. I chose to say no. I chose to just say this wasn't for me. But let it be because your decision. Don't let someone say, you know what, you don't believe in me? Okay, watch me work.
That's very powerful, because I relate back to the time when someone told me no.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was when I was trying to go to law school, and he told me I wasn't good enough, I would never make it, and was going to write my future. And,
oh, my goodness.
And I was like, in a second, I had to reevaluate.
Yes.
And I was like, do I really want to become a lawyer? Am I going to put the effort in? And am I going to let this person take my dreams away from me?
Yes.
And after, thinking and going back and forth, I was like, nope, you don't get to dictate
That's right.
how, what life I'm in. You might be an obstacle. You may be, a fence that I have to jump. You may be that closed door. But I found another window, and that's how I started, my career in law school. Going to be a lawyer, that journey, I knew I wanted it. So I went all in and did everything.
And the thing about it, the fact that he challenged you, the professor, because when you think about when he said no, the rejection you felt, and you had to go and examine yourself and say, you know what is my why? Like, do I really want it, or I'm just going through the motion? Because when you know your why, you know your way. When you lose your why, you lose your way. You had to question your why. You said, I want this. And that's why, to me, it all makes sense now, Ann. The things you've done, the milestones, you are huge, and everybody here know you. But to me, that's the story that resonate with me, that give me chills, because you could, it's like I could just see you just like you looking like, no, I want it, and I can feel the emotion. You might have had to share some tears,
Mm-hmm.
share some tears, like
I
the
did.
hurt,
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
But you went, you found. To me,
Mm-hmm.
one of my books is titled "Pain to Power." You turn your pain to power.
Yes.
You turn your pain to power, because you know what? I'm not gonna let what you said. Yeah, it forced me to reevaluate. But I
Mm-hmm.
want this, and to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's the champion in you.
Oh, thank you.
That's what make you a champion. You chose to say,
Oh.
okay, that's what you say, but I'm gonna rise above it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you did. And you came back, and I think you made a little bit. What do you make on your test score?
27%.
Hey, that deserve a whistle blow.
Yes.
that was game time stuff.
It was. That is exactly what it was. It was time to show up.
Yeah,
And are you going to show up?
and your grit and your resilience, it's just like, listen, don't wear 100-pound wet, but you just got that resilience in that fight,
And I think that that's a lot about what it takes to, be a high achiever, to be successful, is you can't just have a big dream or want something big. You got to back it up.
You got, yes.
Right? So like in life and like in business and in creating a business or starting a new idea, starting in real estate, starting, your professional career, whatever it might be, you have to dream big, right? You go for the dream, but then you got to follow through and
You got to follow
actually
through. It is.
do the work.
Do the work.
So some
Like,
people aren't ready for that.
it is, and that's what the thing about it. When I made it with the national team, the coach said your resilience, your grit made it, but she said you got to work on your shot. Like,
Mhm.
I put myself in a great situation because it's hard work meets opportunity, but I still had to work on my shot. I had to get up at an AM, run on the track. I had to, before practice, make 150 shots, not just shoot, but make. After 2-hour practice, I had to make another 300. So I
Wow.
couldn't just say, I want to be a champion, I want to make this and just go through the motion. Like, I had to put in the work.
Mhm.
And so being able to put in that work and start to see results, I would watch film. Some practices I would watch, man, I look horrible in practice. Or, man, what kind of game would it? I look at my shot. I'm shooting 2 for 12. That's not good. And I'm like, I know why I missed my shot after I watched film, because I leaned to my left. And then sometimes I didn't want to be reminded of my bad game, but I would watch film anyway because I met myself.
Mhm.
So to be all in, and whatever you do, you got to be true to yourself. You got to look at your weaknesses. I need to work on these weaknesses. And I know my strength, but what my weakness? Don't be afraid of your weakness. Don't get so. And if someone acknowledge your weakness or bring them out, you got to be coachable.
I love that. I have a story to relate to that. So in
Yes.
law school, we had to take a constitutional law class, and at that time, I feared it. I hated it. It was the thing that I felt like was going to be my worst subject, and I had that attitude towards it. I was like, "Oh, it's going to con law. It's terrible." And then I had to kind of reframe it, and I had to almost trick myself into believing, I love this course. I
Yeah,
love this course.
yes.
And guess what? One of my favorite courses of all
Serious?
time.
Is it-
And so I think it's easy to be comfortable in what you're good at
Yes.
and very hard to work on your weaknesses. I think that's the hardest thing for any kind of leader, entrepreneur, is to,
Yes.
what are you weak at? And then do the work to make yourself better.
And don't be afraid. I don't care what kind of business you own, what you've done. Say, you know what? Yeah, I need to work on my people skills.
Yes.
Whatever you need to do, face it, and don't be afraid. Because this thing about to me, a weakness is that I feel like another word for it is just I'm just trying to be better. I'm trying to be the best version of me. And so when I would shoot my shots, I had a terrible shot, like straight. But you know what? If I wanted to win, if I wanted to be a better me, I had to go through the fire. I had to put in the work. And at times I had to. And she said, "Listen, okay, anybody, if you're here training for the Olympics, so many other people want to be here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fact that you got to put in the work." So I was excited about. I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna put in the work because I want to not only be a champion. I want to be better for my teammates. I want to be a teammate. I want to help my team win." So she said, "Your defense is great, but we need for you to make some shots. You're gonna be in the game because of your defense, but now we need for you to knock down some shots." So she said, "I don't know what happened to you in college," and this was late for me. I was a late bloomer. She said, I want you to be. You're gonna be one of the best shooters in the country." I'm thinking like, okay, all right. I trusted her guidance. I put in the work, and sure enough, I hit some big shots down the stretch. And they call me instant offense.
Instant offense.
Instant offense, because I came off the bench, and when she called my name, I came off the bench, and I was ready. I was ready to do what I need to do. And she said, "Ruthie, I can trust you in my foxhole."
Wow, that's amazing. I want to talk about some of your books because you're an author, and I believe you have written 4 books.
I've written Ride of a Lifetime, Pain to Power, Sent with Purpose, uh, 12 Sisters, 12 Stories, 12 Challenges, 12 Victories.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've written 2 journals, Journey with
Oh,
Me,
yes.
Be Bold Affirmation. And I'm currently writing a book, an animated book for kids as we speak, called Gold Medal Moments. And the Gold Medal Moments is not me. It's really a reflection so that the kids can see themselves, that all the things that I learned in my journey, I get to share with them. And it talks a lot about my dad and our relationship, the
Mm-hmm.
things he taught me.
Oh.
You know, by flex, I did a lot of flexing in there. When I
Uh-huh.
felt like I was superwoman when I was young, like a Wonder Woman.
Yes.
I had a little tank top on with a little star on it, and I
Wow.
felt so empowered with it
Do you
on.
have a picture of that?
Yes,
Of you? I want to see
I got it. I'm gonna show you.
that.
Listen, I'm just flexing my little muscles, and I just felt so like I felt like Superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, I was a 3rd grade. My teacher said, "You gotta stop wearing that shirt because it was a boy cut." And I did not tell my parents. I said, "No, I'm wearing my shirt because I feel like Wonder Woman."
Yes.
It empowered me to wear
Oh,
my little
yeah.
tank. I'll show it to you.
Yes, I can't wait to see that. What inspired you to start writing? Okay, how you go from, athlete and you transition and what was that like? Like,
You know what? And believe it or not, I know how we set dreams and goals. I was not this little girl saying one day I'm gonna play professional basketball, then I'm gonna become a motivational speaker. Listen, I hated speaking in college.
mhm.
I was willing to almost fail a class to speak in front of, like I was so shy, I felt like I didn't have much to say. So when I went through adversity, tore my ACL, then lost my father, I
Mhm.
found my purpose. And so I found my purpose through the pain that I went through.
Mhm.
And so when I started speaking, going away on crutches, like sharing my story, I found through the belly of my pain, I started to just find my true self. And so I was speaking, going out speaking for the Monarchs and speaking for the King's organization. And people just kept asking me, like, "Do you have a book?" I was like, "A book? Like, who want to
Mhm.
hear it?" No, like I want to hear more about the Finn story. I want to bottle up that message about forgiveness, that message about resilience. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I should. So really, I was almost like pushed to it to start writing the book. That first book was The Ride of a Lifetime. When I tell that story about the bus ride, they like, man, I can learn so much from that. Like, what made that took a lot of guts to get on that bus. When no
Yes.
schools want you, the school you riding a bus to a school telling you you're not gonna play into your junior year. Like, that is nothing encouragement about that, but you still showed up. So I said, yeah, they want to know more. So I said, let me write a book on about resilience, facing the fire, and so I did. And then after I did that book,
Another one came to
another one
mind.
came from I went through adversity. I went through domestic violence,
Yes.
and it was a tough place. Like, you went through this, and oh my goodness, and you played the best basketball going through this. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Understanding, turning my pain to power, and being validated on the court with my teammates. Like, at home, I couldn't control that, but I could control what I did. And my teammates validated me. They didn't even know what was going on, but my teammates reminded me. So I wrote this book, From Pain to Power. I did a tour speaking to the WNBA teams. I went to a lot of colleges speaking. And then I did another book, Sent with Purpose, discovering my purpose, discovering God's call in every season of my life. We go through seasons.
Yes.
We go through up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But understanding, and in every season of our life, there's something to learn. When I had to move back to Mississippi, I said, you know what? Never thought I would move back to Mississippi. I live out in California, but I said, Lord, what is it that you want me to learn right now in this season? Grow. So I started learning, like, I need to be present with myself. Don't worry about all the glamours and the lights. Just grow where you are. Be a parent to your kids, and so to my children. So that's what I did. So that called Sent with Purpose. And then one in the book now with my sisters, 12 challenges, 12 triumphs. Because I wanted to share this journey with my sisters. I'm like, they're like, who want to hear what I got to say?
I love that about you. I love that so much because you have 12 sisters and you want to share the dream with them. You're all about, it's not just about you, your team, your sisterhood. Like, I love
That's
that.
what it is. It's a sisterhood. And you know what, Ann? It's giving other women permission to share their story, to use their voice. Because all of my sisters, we've been to different paths in our journey. But as they were sharing their story, they started to, like, not just soar, not just fly, but soar. And as you remove layers, as you write and share your story, you remove layers of guilt, resentment. I'm not good enough. And now all of a sudden you're like, I'm meeting myself because all these different things camouflages who you are. The fear, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy. So that's what this last book has done with my sisters. it giving them permission to write their own book.
Yeah.
Like some, it's like, oh, I want to do more than just a chapter, and that's what that book has done.
It's so much of, speaks to me, women
Yes.
empowerment, our
Yes.
purple promise.
Oh my goodness.
About just really uplifting each other. And that's just like who you are by nature. This is not just about Miss Ruthie Bolton.
It's not.
Who else can I lift up?
And that's what MVP is, most valuable player. That's what champion is making other people around you better.
Yes.
I want my sister to know. I want them to heal from some of the things they've gone through, because once I did my book, I didn't realize how unhealed I was, because all these different layers was falling off. I'm not good enough, to shame, unworthy, and I just started to soar. And that's why, just what you're doing with Purple Promise, that's why I was so excited to be on that panel with the girls. It's like I got so many like stories of these little girls saying, I remember doing an autograph for a little girl. She was like not even 10. She said, I really enjoy hearing you speak. She said, I don't want an autograph. I just want to tell you that you empowered me. And she said, you saved my life. I'm like, you 10 years old, how did I save your life? And she said, because of the things you share with me. And so these are the things that I feel like that writing these books does. And just what you've done with Purple Promise, giving these kids permission to just, those kids will never remember that. Those girls at the Purple Promise.
Yes.
And I love the fact that your vision, instead of just, you're supporting the Kings and sponsoring them, you're like, I want this to make an impact.
Yes.
I feel like that's a 3-point play.
Yes.
In basketball,
three-point play
feels good. And you create a 3-point play
and
about giving these girls an opportunity to shine and grow. And I admire you for that.
Thank you. One of the questions we're asked, and I'll say it now just because it was such a great question, I thought was, how do you define success? Like, what is success? Like, so everyone has a different definition. What is success for you?
Oh, man, success for me is, I want to use this platform that God has given me to impact, empower. Success to me is seeing, I was at, I think, a Boys and Girls Club, and I spoke to the girl, we did like a little clinic. And the girl, I always do a little moment called Be the Best You, like a talent. Who could sing? Who could dance? And, I do it. The elementary kids are down for it. This girl sung. Her voice was crazy. I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you sing? And this girl had never said anything. They said she would not participate. But this girl said, I wanted to sing because you made me believe I could sing. And I want the whole world to watch. That, to me, is success, that I can use basketball as a platform to give back to these young girls, empower them, to empower a woman that says, by hearing your story, by you writing this book, you made me believe. Now I want to write my own book. Mm-hmm. Like, those are the things. That's what success is. It's not monetary. It's giving. It's a ripple effect. Like when you drop something in the water and the ripple effect, it touch other lives. That is what success is. That's what being a champion is. It's not just doing what I do. It's making people around me better. And to me, at the end of the day, there's a quote that I love. It says, to the world, you might be one person, but to one person, you might be the world. That's love success.
It. Oh, my gosh. I love it. That's so good. You have so many great... I'm going to steal them from you, and I will always say, like Ruthie Bolton said.
Yeah, but that's, what, and being around people that's like-minded. I know we met, it's just like we connected like right away.
I know.
And I think we know what success means. We know what it means to empower. And to me, I love meeting people. Like I travel the world over the country, to different countries. I feel like that's what success is too, is being able to, it's to make a person believe everybody has a soul. Everybody has a manifesto. It's to remind you to tap into your why. It's like, I want you to know why you were created, why you exist. Because a lot of people wake up, they don't know their purpose.
Yes.
Your purpose.
And I think that's what a lot of people, they have goals and dreams and desires, and even in business, you can't just have something that's empty. Like say, you have this desire to open up a franchise or to start a law firm or whatever it is. Your purpose has to be, and how do you say, what was the quote? Your purpose has to be your why.
If you know your why, you know your way.
If you know your why, you know your way.
If you lose your why, you lose your way. And go ahead.
I really feel that, like, if your why isn't strong enough,
that's right. Oh,
you're going to lose your way. You're going to walk away.
Interfere. You will let everything derail you.
Correct.
You will let any and everything. Oh, someone talking about me. They said this never worked, and you'll believe it.
Mm-hmm.
When you know your why, you know your way. It will shape your belief system.
So what kind of advice would you give for people who want to start up a business, be an entrepreneur, or what is like some of the core advice that you would give?
The core advice for someone that want to start a business is that, like we just said, you got to know your why. You got to write things down. You got to sort of see what it it looks like you got to, like in sports, you have to sort of see a play before it happens. You have to go out there and see like how you're going to defend. You prepare in advance. Like you watch film, you prepare and say, I got to, it's almost like it's a military term. Like you got to sort of think like the enemy think. You got to think, you got to look at risk. You got to look at things that could derail you and evaluate.
Yes.
So you know what, okay, but I'm willing to go the distance. And you'll prepare in advance. I always think before a game like, what if I'm shooting bad? Or what if my defense is not working? How would I change that? So I think about it before it happens. So you got to think about things. You got to prepare. You got to do your research. And you got to write things down. And you got to set, I would say, goals and look at, you know what? I want this. And you got to know what your why is in doing it. And you got to tell yourself, what are the challenges? And when you embrace that, so, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it all. If I'm playing basketball, if a team going to the zone, I'm ready. If a team try to do a boxing one on me, I'm ready. If a team do a 1-3-1 on me, I'm ready. So you prepare your mind and you anticipate. In the military, I was first lieutenant in the Army. There's 9 elements of war. One of the most impactful ones is the element of surprise. Yeah. You don't want to be surprised. If you're surprised, so you want to prepare and not let that surprise so you don't get ambushed by different things.
Yes. And so when we talk about going all in, what kind of advice would you give to people who are straddling and like they want to, but then they're afraid and then they kind of straddle that line of, should I'm scared and maybe retreat and then visit it again 6 months later or...
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes that fear is a good fear. It make you think about really like what are the consequences? What if I fail? But then you come to a point where I've crossed out all the things that could keep me from doing it, and now I'm going all in. Yeah. When you get to a point, like when I got ready to jump over that fence, I was all in. When I got on that bus, at this point, it is like I'm all in. When I pay my way to go to trials, I'm all in. When you make your mind up to go all in, don't look back. Okay. And you're going to embrace whatever it is. And you might actually, what we call, I don't say when you fail when you don't try. You might have to reevaluate things. Say, you know what? But I'm ready. I might have to revisit something in 6 months. But this is what I want. You think about your story. When you went, it's like, I'm all in. Like and you probably was a little bit scared, like, but you still go. And I'm sure even my journey in basketball, things ain't always going the way I want. But when I told myself and when I committed to being all in, it made everything easier. So go all in, have your mindset, write it down, and commit to it and repeat it every day. Have some principles about what it is, and you read something, repeat your manifesto for your business. Read it every day. You might have to read it with tears in your eyes. You may have to read it like, man, but this is I want, and you write it down. You talk to self-talk.
Talk to your self-talk.
Self-talk, baby. Self-talk. You can say, or you can sing, dream big.
Woo!
If you want it, you can do it. Dream big. Pour your heart into it. If it worth dreaming about, you might as well. If it worth dreaming about, you might as well dream big. Woo! Dream big. And maybe get a whistle too. And blow a whistle when you get.
We are giving away whistles. That's what I'm gonna do. I seriously love the whistle. I cannot tell you enough how much that whistle, that energy brings. I seriously, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna do another thing too. And this may seem like it's weird, but if you flex, there's a study done at Stanford. Okay. Because I thought I was being silly. It's something that I started doing, but I looked it up. There's a study done that if you do positive motions with your body, it empowers you. It does something in your metabolism, your energy, and it make you feel better. Like your hands up in the air, flexing, doing this. So if you're going through something tough, flex upon it. Like, yeah, baby, what?
That is great advice because there definitely is truth to that because when I just even going like this, it's like, let's go.
Let's go,
over
baby,
the world.
let's go.
Hearing the whistle is like, let's go conquer the world.
Let's go conquer the world.
And a lot of just success in general is really having the mindset there. And everything else is, if you don't have that mindset,
and that's what makes this great because you're not someone just doing this because you woke up with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mm-hmm. You woke up and everything was fabulous, but you've had to go through. And to me, the fact that you want to do this podcast to give back and to share with others, I want to tell you, I got the playbook and I want to share with you on how to succeed. To me, that's embodies a champion. You want to win, but you want everybody else to win too. Yeah. I heard you on the interview saying when you were talking about, you said, I'm not really, like I love to compete, but I'm not competing trying to, like it's all about me. Mm-hmm. I want other people to win too. Yes. And that's more than one way to win. So to me, I admire you. You're beautiful. Your energy and that, and how we met. To me,
Mm-hmm.
how we organically met, and I almost didn't do that event because I had to go to something else and I didn't have much time. I said, sometimes less is more.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
showed up because I knew the importance. It was a fundraiser
For the girl.
for the
Yeah.
girls. And I said, you know what? I got to at least show up because
Yes.
I'm going to be in the area. Sometimes less is more. By me showing up, I got a chance to meet you. And you got a chance to organically see me, hear me just a little bit. And I got a chance to hear you.
I don't know if you know this though. I got invited to that event last minute too,
Serious?
and I wasn't supposed to go either. And I was like, you know what? I was like, it was to support the girls. I was like, I really want to show up, even if it's just for a little bit. And that, and that's how we met, and
That's
that's
right.
why you're here
That's
today,
right.
right?
We showed up
Oh,
and we were motivated by mission driven.
yes,
And our conscience spoke to us, said, you know what? I know I need to be there. And I've been knowing Mike for a long time. And he said, I really want you there, even for a minute. I just want them to see your face. I said, Mike, I'm there. And to me, that's what it means to go all in. When you all in your purpose, when that's something that nudges you and just forces you, like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm all in. I'm showing up, and that's what. And I'm so glad because I got a chance to meet you.
yes.
And I
Thank
had heard so
you.
many amazing things about you, and I
Oh,
finally meet you,
oh,
and you're living up to it. And
oh my
you're
gosh.
you're living up to the champion you are.
Thank you.
All in. You know what? And just what you're doing. Even if I think about this. Even if your passion was, you know, even if you was a florist and you love flowers, or even if you
Yes.
were, animal lover, whatever it is your manifesto, you still just who you are and what you've done. But the fact that you love working with girls and women, and that's something because it comes from something where it moves you.
Yes.
And that's that to me, knowing your why on that is huge because you just give the kids money to do whatever, but the fact that you said no, I want this to be impact. To me,
Yes.
that right there, that is the hook, and that's what so you know what, hey, that's what makes you who you are
Yes.
because you did it. There was a purpose behind it, and you was intentional about it. Hey, to me that's a whistleblower.
Thank you so much. This has been so amazing, Ruthie. Just kind of to close it up and wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to say to people out there that may be struggling, maybe facing some adversity, that little girls out there? Any last remark or closing remarks that you want to say that we haven't discussed?
Yeah, I say I know adversity hits everyone. The word adversity make you bitter or make you better. And
It makes you bitter or better.
I chose for it to make me better. You let it make you better. And I want everyone that listening, young girl, mom, entrepreneurship, business, adversity, you look at it and it's a military term, you salute it and say, you know what? You might well get out my way. Get out my way. I'm coming strong. And let that fuel you. Let
Yes.
that hard time fuel you. Let that adversity fuel you because your success, the champion in you, something great is waiting. And what's so unique about knowing your why and all in? Because as you walk into that, as you run into that, other people watching you, you giving them permission to do the same. It's like I was, when people come up to me and say, you know what, I know your basketball stuff, you've been great, but what I love about you is your resilience. I know you've gone through a lot, and I said, but that's what really, because I always say when I speak to a group, if all you can remember me as a basketball player, then I fail you. Everyone listening, and when you listen to this, it's the only thing you can remember is that I played basketball, then I fail because this is bigger than a basketball story. This is bigger than shooting a 3-point shot. It's about faith over fear. It's about resilience. It's about going all in, and it's about knowing your why. And that's what I want you to know, that you are built for this. You are built for this. It's game time. Don't quit.
Woo.
Hey, you know what? Get you a whistle.
Get your whistle.
And it's game time. You got this, and we're rallying for you.
Yes.
And everybody that's watching, we're cheering for you and saying, you
Yes.
got this. And hey,
Seriously, it is game time. So
It's
go
game
all in.
Go all in.
It's game time.
Go all in, baby.
Woo.
Yeah. Like, do a play, man. Yes, baby.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so we're going to play a game.
Okay.
It's called Go All In or Fold.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you a series of pictures, and just instantly you're going to tell me is it something you're going to go all in, meaning yeah, or fold like no, not for me. Okay, so we're going to start off with a little quirky, funny one. Wearing Crocs in public. Go all in or fold? Miss Ruthie? You look like you want to fold on that.
Yeah,
Fold.
because I never know when I'm going to start running. And I see kids trying to play ball with Crocs. But no, not for me.
No, fold. Okay, we're going to fold on that. Okay, so the next one is Chat GPT to write your professional emails. Go all in or fold.
I'm sort of torn between because I think sometimes when you limit with time, I think it's you gotta be wise, use resources. But I'll go in, but I still always gonna edit. I'm gonna look at it myself, but it might help me out a little bit. So I'm sort of torn in between.
Yeah.
But I think
You're going in. You're not folding it.
I'm not folding. I'm going in.
Okay.
I'm going in. I'm just being
Okay.
smart, and I'm a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're cautiously going all in. Okay, so no photo for this, but just the concept of trying to change the American work week to a 3-day weekend. You want to go all in that or fold?
All in.
All in.
Yeah,
Let's
you
get
gotta
some
work
more.
hard and take those days off.
We
Yeah.
need our rest days,
Yeah,
okay?
we need our rest days, man. Yeah.
And then this last one is using TikTok. People are using TikTok to search for advice, like medicine or legal advice.
No.
No.
No,
We're folding on that.
No, ChatGPT is what's it? Chat. That's good enough. No,
Yeah.
TikTok. No, I'm not saying some things are good, but no, I'm good. I'm good with that.
I love it. Well, Miss Ruthie Bolton, thank you so much for being our guest today, our
welcome.
first guest ever on the Go All In podcast. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
game time.
It's game time, baby. Let's go.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you gotta. Yeah. Thank you so much.
If this conversation resonated with you, please leave a review and take a second to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you know someone who's building something of their own, share this with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear right now. I'm Anh Phoong. Thanks for listening to Go All In, beating the odds in business.